Greetings, Cybertronians, I'm DrLockdown, and yet again we have another sample from Funwhole, or maybe it won't be Funwhole for long. Word on the street is they're maybe changing their name in the future? Given how much the company has grown, deservingly so, this is probably a good idea. Already their products are pretty damn good, as I've covered in 2 previous videos. But the thing about releasing a bunch of really good products at a pretty affordable price is you've gotta expand. And a new name to help market it could really help. Better to do it sooner than later. I feel if I ever tried changing my name at this point, people would all get pissy and angry. Today's sample comes from the Steampunk line, still a bunch of buildings, but with a more wiki Wild West vibe. Initially I was planning on just skipping the build time-lapse as I'm kind of under the pump as is. I mean, we've already covered 2 on this channel. We know Funwhole makes fun builds. So instead, I ended up giving this set to my partner to build, and bless her heart, Z time-lapsed the whole thing. Anyway, taking a second-hand account, the build took quite a while, but was really good. At every point, the instructions made perfect sense, even down to the motions required to get certain bits into place. Perhaps other companies could learn a thing or two. Good job, gotta say. This time, the minifigures were assembled too, though, again, personally not a fan of those designs. I do get why they are the way they are, but I'm more here for the building. Something to note, they were unfortunately assembled backwards on one of them, and when I went to fix it, I broke it. This seems to be the only point of breakage any of these sets can potentially have. No biggie for either of us, but it is something to note. So, Funwhole makes great builds. It's basically a guaranteed thing at this point. If you want modular buildings for display, I'm not sure many other companies make ones of the same caliber at the same price afforded. And this is of the same ilk. It's a wonderful building with plenty of greebling and creative building techniques. It's pretty regal for a steampunk style, more in line with the previously reviewed antique store than the recording studio. A lot of that does come down to the earthy tones and browns used, and it's a killer combination. I especially love the windows used, harkens back to the antique store again. It's always delightful seeing the crazy window techniques used on designs such as this. Also delightful seeing the stained glass again. This really makes use of the light brick features, a perfect marrying of printing and electricity. This one even includes an action feature with a dedicated crank. I'm not particularly sure what this is supposed to represent, but it looks cool, so shut up. There also seems to be space for a motor, if you so desire. Not necessary, as it's not a massive feature, but hey, I'm sure you can accomplish it if you want to. Part of me does wish the rotor on the top was also affected by this crank system, but given they've already implemented the light feature into the walls themselves, I don't think such would have been possible. It's in the walls. It's in the goddamn walls. This set also marks the most successful access for the interiors without removing the individual levels. The back opens up nice and cleanly, revealing the messy floors and all manner of seats and mechanical equipment, and probably Will Smith in there at some point. Of course, this is likely because of the mechanical gear system. It prevents you from disassembling the bottom 2 floors because the whole thing is carefully crafted. I think it's a pretty decent trade-off, and I'd love future builds to have this accessibility even when you can still disassemble it. Shame you can't see more of the floor though. That pattern is truly gorgeous. You can remove the top floor though, not that it accomplishes much. The top floor doesn't sit flush with the ground due to the necessary light bricks. Still, the interiors are great as ever, right down to the awesome clock builds. I do love clock builds, especially Funwhole clock builds. That's not a joke, they just genuinely do a good job on them, even if in the past it's been a smidge excessive. Not content to just leave the set as is, they've even included a lovely flying machine on the roof. All we need is a giant mechanical spider and we should all be set. In all seriousness, another great build, just as the rest of this set. I think the one big gripe I have with this, other than the top section not remaining flush, would have to be how plain the roof is. There's space here, but not particularly a lot to do. The roofs on the previous 2 builds had some pretty cool details to them. This one is a step below, but not in a bad way. You'd be hard-pressed to call this a bad set, or even a compromised set. It's another fantastic release from Funwhole. I kinda expected that going in, which is why I'm always happy to work with them time and time again, but yeah, it really is as great as it ever was. And I'm not just saying that because I got this for free. Ultimately, if the set looks good to you and is in your price range, there's absolutely nothing I need to make note of to warn you about. Funwhole continues to be of the highest quality of alternative brick set companies on the market, with the potential to truly disrupt the current monopoly some stores have. Legitimately, if this stuff ends up at regular stores, it has a real potential to do gangbusters. And something tells me Funwhole is gearing up to do just that. And hey, it didn't just make me a fan, it made the love of my life one too. I suspect if this partnership continues, you'll be getting a few more of these on here end in my stead, long as I can still film them a smidge. Unfortunately, Funwhole did not get back to me about end card stuff and promotions and all of that jazz, so go purchase it if you'd like. It's a good set, and it gets my wholehearted recommendation.